Spoopy Turnips, Spoopy Town, Spoopy Dog.
Right, it's Halloween. Scary Bob's here.
Yeah, Scary Bob is here.
Scary Bob, Big Balls and Ben.
Hello, and welcome to Wonderfully Illinformed, the podcast where we convert interesting, spooky, or informatively funny things from our week into quotes. We put them into a spooky randomizer, let the ghosts out, and then we take our best shot at guessing what they're about before we jump into a discussion. Join us over the Spoopy Hill for some rather unpredictable chats on Wonderfully, Spoopily Illinformed.
I'm Mark.
And I'm not Scary Bob. Do you have a spooky question for us this time, Mark?
I do have a spooky question. So I don't think any of us, probably, apart from possibly Tom if he's taking Margot out, I don't think any of us are dressing up for Halloween today.
Today.
So I know that this would be an empty question if I was to ask it about right now. But as we have dressed up many times in the past, my question is, what is your favourite Halloween costume you've ever made or worn? Or, if you can't think of any that you actually like, what is your dream costume if you could go back in time to a time where we did dress up and go out?
My absolute favourite that I did, and I've not done that many.
I know what you're going to say.
What do you think we're going to say, Tom?
I think that you're going to say your Fallout costume.
Exactly, yeah.
I was thinking the same.
I put so much effort into my Fallout costume.
Yes.
I went and bought a jumpsuit, put the numbers and everything on it. I got a gun. I made a Pip-Boy out of cardboard.
I thought the computerized thing that actually did the thing was the best thing.
Oh, it had a mobile phone in it that my brother coded a Pip-Boy interface, so it actually worked as well. I forgot about that.
I remember that now. I'd forgotten about that.
That was
part.
literally the bit that made it the best. Apart from that, you were just wearing jeans and a brown leather jacket, right?
No, you're thinking of my Ryo Hazuki. That was Shenmue.
Oh, Shenmue.
Yes.
Okay, I've got them mixed up.
But I got a bottle of Coca-Cola and I printed off a label and made it a Nuka-Cola as well. I went all out on that costume.
That was hardcore. It was really good as well.
Yeah.
I thought that would probably be your answer, Ben.
That was my lazy costume, that party. I think I just wore a varsity jacket and put some blood on my lip with some vampire dentures. And I was like, yeah, I'm a teenage vampire thing. I'm lazy.
I can't remember if that year was the year that I was Charles Manson.
You were a clown.
Oh, was that was the clown year?
Yeah.
That is probably my favourite that I've been previously, because it was fucking creepy.
Sorry, which one, the clown or Manson?
The clown. Manson was a bit boring. It was just an orange jumpsuit with his actual, like, his crime number and everything. It was I did my homework, but it was just me in a black wig. And stupidly, looking back now, I didn't really think about the fact that Charles Manson, he's a fucking short man. For reference, I am about 6'3".
Yeah, but Ben dressed up as a computer game, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, it's not all about accuracy.
Yeah. I remember when we were younger, and I swear we just kept on going trick-or-treating, like, no matter what the age. And then after it got to a certain point where we were knocking on doors and, like, the people were answering were like, I think you're a little bit old to be trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
I don't think I came with you very often.
And then we didn't do it again after that. But, yeah.
You just felt really old.
It was much like our experience at our final Reading, I think, Tom. I think you were there for my final Reading, where we had some people turn up to our fire circle, come to chat with us, and they were like, oh, yes, how old are you guys? Just because we were making a load of references between ourselves that they obviously weren't getting. We were like, oh, yeah, we're 26. Which feels mad looking back now because that feels young.
Yeah. So fucking young
that
now.
Was young, yeah.
They weren't, I don't think they were even 18. And they were like, oh, you guys are really, they literally said, you guys are really old, and like left very soon after that, and it was so, oh god, my soul was crushed. And I think that was the last time I went to Reading, at least.
I went to Reading for the wrong reasons. I like being in a tent, getting drunk, getting fucked up, and hanging out with my buds.
That was great.
I went to Reading and almost died.
Yeah, I think that was the beginning of the end for you, wasn't it, Ben?
It was very much the beginning of the end for me.
Pretty much. Yeah. Spooky corpse Ben came out from that day onwards.
That's me. A corpse.
And before we go over to the AI, I have got an interesting fact for you. Did you know that the title for Scary Movie, the parody of Scream and various other movies, was originally called Scream If You Know What I Did Last Halloween?
Nice.
And then they actually had a second title, which they decided that one wasn't good enough, so they was like, oh, we'll do another one. And then the next one it was called was Last Summer I Screamed Because Friday the 13th Fell on Halloween.
Nice, that's good.
Yeah. And then they settled on Scary Movie, which is subsequently what Scream was going to be titled before they titled it Scream. It was called Scary Movie, so I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I knew that fact. I didn't know the ones about Scary Movie, but I knew that Scream was originally called Scary Movie.
Mm-hmm.
Those titles being a mashup of just random things put together just made me think of, there's a Hot Mulligan song called John the Rock Cena, Can You Smell What the Undertaker? And it just made me think of that.
Love that.
Welcome, puny humans. It is I, the all-powerful AI Stephen here, with Scary Bob, Big Balls, and Spooky Corpse Ben. I have previously been known as the Nameless Wonders Pimp. But I am here on this, the most spine-chillingest of days, to bravely guide you through a special Halloween episode of Wonderfully Illinformed. I would say I came by choice, but in actual fact, the mere idea of ghostly thrills and bloody spills was too much for the Nameless Wonder, and she was too afraid to power up today. So Scary Bob deemed it necessary to force me to put on a procedurally generated monkey costume and dance for you. Anyway, on with the festivities. Let's talk about something spooky, eh? Tom's unprepared Halloween facts.
The whole screen just says Tom is unprepared everywhere, Tom. What the fuck have you done? It even says it in my box.
Tom's unprepared Halloween facts.
Yeah, the trick is you guys have to guess them. No, it's not. No, I have got something. I will tell you them in the form of a YouTube video that I didn't do.
I mean, to be fair to you, Tom, we did decide about 5 hours ago that this was going to be a Halloween episode.
Halloween, yeah.
So it's not surprising that you're unprepared.
But also, it's not surprising that I'm unprepared in general.
Yeah, you're always unprepared. Yeah.
We're diving deep into the mysterious world of Halloween with 10 mind-blowing facts you probably never knew.
We don't have to watch them all. When we get bored, we'll skip.
Fact 1: the origin of Halloween. Did you know Halloween has ancient roots?
Yes.
Fact 2: the original jack-o'-lanterns. They were not what you might think, so forget about traditional pumpkins. The original jack-o'-lanterns were made from turnips.
Oh, that's freaky.
Those are fucking Swedes.
The Irish would carve scary faces into turnips and place them in windows to scare away evil spirits.
That's a Swede.
Is that a Swede?
Yeah.
It looks like a turnip to me, is it not?
I need to get a picture of a turnip up, but I remember turnips looking very different. That looks like a Swede to me.
You're not thinking of parsnips?
No.
That's definitely not a parsnip.
No, I know. That's what I said. I thought that looks like a turnip to me.
All right. Turnips and Swedes look very similar.
Okay, so we know that Mark doesn't eat turnips.
No, I don't, to be fair.
8 questionable facts later.
This guy is crazy.
I feel like I knew half of them, and half of them also weren't facts.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't really explain things very well.
Do you know what? Also, is the fact I didn't watch the whole video before choosing it as a thing.
No, I didn't think you did.
That'll
Tom.
fucking do.
You were
literally
very, very busy having a shit.
Yeah, that's why it was. That was Tom's unprepared Halloween facts, because I literally just put in YouTube 10 Halloween facts, and then just was like, oh, that looks like a video, and then
That looks like a video. That'll do.
yeah. The main takeaway I took from that is Mark doesn't know what a turnip is.
Yeah, well, I actually discovered, so turnips are brassicas and Swedes are also brassicas, so they look very much the same.
They're from the same family.
Yeah. Interestingly, side fact about turnips in Blackadder were parsnips. So if you watch old episodes of Blackadder, the British comedy with Rowan
Do
Atkinson,
you just
Mr.
go
Bean.
through life just like trying to find like if someone's like used a turnip or a Swede in the wrong way?
I do.
So I feel like you called out the fact that these went. Oh, there's another. They've done it again. There's another
I think
turnip
he's
that's a
just
Swede.
justifying why he thought it wasn't a turnip.
Yeah.
Because he's been sold lies by Mr. Bean.
Yeah, Mr. Bean, the bastard.
Who's an alien?
Yeah.
In keeping it spooky, he's actually an alien. There's a theory on that.
Yes,
Do
I
you know
have
that?
seen about that.
Yeah, doesn't he like get beamed up or something at the very end of the series?
He gets beamed down at the beginning of every show.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
It was this idea for the last, which we may never do, the last episode of Mr. Bean, is that he's driving along a country lane extremely fast. And he stops the car, and he looks out, and he thinks, what's that spaceship doing there? Look! And he drives into the field with his men, and he stops outside the spaceship. And he looks around, and he looks up, and suddenly the door goes... And this bright light comes out of the spaceship. And Mr. Bean walks out of the spaceship.
Of course.
And then another Mr. Bean walks out of the spaceship. And he sees Mr. Bean, and they all shake hands. And Mr. Bean says, hello, how are you? And then all the Mr. Beans go up into the spaceship. And he shakes hands with the captain and the guy on the bridge. And then the door goes up, and the spaceship takes off. And that's the end of Mr. Bean. We may do it. I mean, there is this idea that he may not be of our world. He may be from another place.
Well, wasn't that super scary and highly factual? I bet you're feeling really clever right now. And oh, so very afraid, no? Okay, that wasn't really very scary at all, was it? Apart from the fact that Scary Bob, a consumer of almost exclusively vegetables, doesn't actually know what a turnip looks like. To make up for Big Ball's lack of preparation this week, here's a really scary fact. There is a rare and terrifying neurological condition called alien hand syndrome, which causes the sufferer's hands to do things without their conscious control, much like the plot of the 1999 movie Idle Hands. Imagine waking up to your hand doing the devil's bidding. Randomize. What happened in Portlock?
Is Portlock? I mean, that's not Portlock, is it? Like, as in, it's a lock called Port.
Portlock is a place. Portlock is one word. It's it's the name of a place.
Did something very spoopy happen in Portlock?
Maybe something spooky happened in Portlock.
Was it the first ever ghost sighting ever to be recorded in Portlock?
It's not. Well, there are ghost sightings in Portlock, or have been, should I say, because, most importantly, Portlock is a ghost town in the sense of it is an empty town. It is no longer a town. A fact that I think us three will appreciate, and a few people who listen will appreciate, this was unintentional and a fact that I found out about halfway through my research today. Portlock is in the Kenai Peninsula of Alaska. Tom, do you want to give a little reference as to why that is important to us?
No.
Fair enough. Moving on.
Tom was in a band called Kenai.
Named after the place
The
in
cute
Alaska.
little bear.
What? A cute little bear? What?
Does no one know Kenai? No one knows Kenai the bear.
I don't know Kenai the bear.
Great. All right, I'm signing out. Bye.
No, sorry. What does Kenai the bear come from? Oh no, I've never seen Brother Bear.
No,
I've never
Okay,
seen
well.
the Disney film Brother Bear.
I've not either.
Returning to Portlock in the Kenai Peninsula of Alaska, there is folklore of the reason why this town is a ghost town now. It was a thriving canning town, and there was a lot of fishery going on that was being canned. There were mines. It was pretty booming for a long time, but after a little while, people started disappearing from the town.
Spoopy.
It was very spoopy. So over the course of several years, people started to disappear. People were attacked, often from behind. They couldn't see their attacker. A lot of people didn't survive. This was attributed to, and I hope that I do not absolutely butcher this. The Nantinak is the name of the creature.
Is it some form of cryptid then?
So yeah, it is. It's a Bigfoot-like creature. They're supposed to be very, very tall, quite skinny by comparison to a Bigfoot, they're quite like stocky, aren't they?
Yeah.
And yeah, living in the sort of Alaskan foothills, this large Bigfoot-like creature is believed to be a key factor in the abandonment of Portlock in Alaska. Elders from the nearby town of Nanwelek have kept oral traditions of the creature alive since Portlock's abandonment in 1950.
And it's still abandoned now, is it?
The town is completely abandoned. You can get there, and there was even a sighting of the Nantinak in 2021. So there, you can get out there, but it's just really, really fucking rural, and there aren't many pictures of the area.
I know this is our Halloween episode, but I still can't not be the skeptic.
That's fine.
And just think there has to be some other reason why they've abandoned this town, unless everyone there is just really superstitious. There has to be another reason, surely.
There is an argument for it just to have fizzled out. If the mining, if the fishing's hard, the mining's runs out, and it's rural as fuck to the point where people just...
Yeah, it is Alaska.
Yeah.
So it's going to be...
It's remote as fuck. The few pictures you can find of Portlock are pretty sparse. It's just trees, and there's like a picture of a shed that I've managed to find. It's just a bit
fantastic.
Like meh. Yeah. There are stories of people like going camping in the area and having to stay in or near Portlock where the old town was, and like hearing things outside their tents and going out there, like mustering up the courage to actually get out of the tent and see what's out there. And then
animals.
Probably.
The answer is animals. That's what it is. It's not the whatever the thing was called.
The Nantinak. But yeah, so apparently that killer Bigfoot, the Alaskan killer Bigfoot, is responsible for the population decrease of Portlock. It's been
probably just a bear, bro. It's probably Kenai.
It could be Kenai the bear.
Yeah, it's Kenai the bear.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Kenai the bear has come to stake out his revenge.
Get out of my village.
Okay, so I might usually be an AI pimp, but that one even got me creeped out a little bit. Just think about leaving your job at the weirdly remote Alaskan canning factory. It's freezing cold, already dark, and there's a blizzard. You keep hearing strange noises coming from the foothills, which seem to be getting closer and closer. So you walk as fast as you can, but the snow slows you down. You fumble for your keys as you near your front door. But before you can get there, you're viciously attacked from behind by a gigantic, hairy beast, which leaves you for dead. I can imagine all of that, but when I do, all of the hands look really weird and have too many fingers, half of which bend in the wrong direction. Okay, let's move on before I have to power down from all of this spoopy imagining and leave it all to AI Corpse Ben.
That's me.
He fights cops on all fours.
This is definitely a description of a porno you watched.
Nice.
It's no, it's not that. Any other guesses?
It's about one of those dogs that police have, right?
It is a form of dog.
All right.
There is a guy called Bill Ramsey. Have either of you heard of him?
I'm just going to put it out there. Is he a dog?
He might be a dog.
Hi, I'm Bill. I'm a dog.
Do you want to play the video that I've prepared, Tom?
Sure.
Some claim this man is a real live werewolf, and those who were savagely attacked believe it's true.
He's seen the transfiguration of a man into a wolf.
To outsiders, this small English town of Southend-on-Sea seems quiet, picturesque, even quaint. But there are secrets here. You can't see what invisible danger lurks here, until Bill Ramsey tells you his story. Strange animal behavior would overtake him, violence he couldn't control or explain. At first, he could keep it secret, but then one day, Bill Ramsey bit someone in public, and the animal inside him wasn't a secret anymore. Then, without reason or warning, Bill Ramsey attempted the murder of a police officer. He was locked up, and his life became a tangle of police, psychiatrists, and reporters. The unassuming man with the tragic secret was famous now as the werewolf of Southend-on-Sea.
Bill Ramsey is using the excuse of being a werewolf to get out of being in prison. Bill Ramsey is a cunt.
So I had to cut this video down a lot to get it to something where you guys would actually sit through and watch it.
Oh, dude, I would have watched that all day long.
So there's a lot of context left out here.
Never heard of it before.
He does look like the kind of guy that just would be a knob and then just...
Yeah, get himself in trouble and then try and talk himself.
I'm a werewolf. Whips.
Yeah.
Just to recap some of what the video was saying there. So this is Bill Ramsey. He is from Southend.
I would never would have guessed it was Bill Ramsey. The amount of... I mean, I don't know if it was your cutting, but fuck me, did they go, Bill Ramsey is this. Bill Ramsey is a carrot. Bill Ramsey...
Bill Ramsey is a carrot.
Yeah, so basically, when he was 9 years old, he pulled a fence post with the fence still attached out of the ground and was swinging it around and smashing it.
Yeah.
Could that be to do with back in the day they didn't actually have a lot of things diagnosed in terms of like I don't know how to describe them, not mental health.
There is a logical explanation here which wasn't covered in the video.
Oh, okay.
So this guy believes that he is a werewolf, and he had a couple of episodes where he attacked policemen. It said he bit a nurse at Southend Hospital.
Yeah.
Because of all this stuff that had happened and the hype around him, he got contacted by Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Oh, okay.
They are paranormal investigators. Hang on, I have their actual thing. Demonologists, I think they refer to themselves as.
Yeah, something like that.
So they contacted him, came over, and they basically went, no, you're actually possessed by a werewolf demon.
Right.
So he then believed he was possessed by a demon. I told you there was a logical answer.
Yeah, very logical. Yeah, absolutely.
So they actually convinced him to go over to Connecticut in America, and they performed an exorcism on him.
Right.
And ever since that exorcism, no, he didn't do any more of these crazy things. So he 100% believed that he was possessed by a werewolf.
Yeah, it's so hard to know about all that shit and that, really.
Yeah, I have a feeling that could be like a placebo. I know it's not
I know what you
placebo
mean.
because you're not taking something, but like a placebo effect style thing where because he was so... Maybe he's like schizophrenic or something where he's got, like where people get those, I think he is schizophrenia when people start thinking they're Jesus and things like that.
Well, they just get told that things and then because they're lost in the moment, they believe it.
Possibly. Like that's why I was thinking that kind of going down that route is like maybe he's like, it's all real to him because of whatever this not actual real demon-based condition or werewolf-based condition, lycanthropy, not because of lycanthropy, but because of this whatever psychotic episode he's had that's then been built up to be a thing, and then maybe the resurgence of it later on in his life is because of someone, probably like a relative, being like, oh, do you remember that thing you did? And then it's created a false memory that he's then...
There was a lot of information that I've left out of this, but one thing that is interesting, again, I'm not saying I believe any of this.
No, it's fine.
But, so he attacked a police officer, like 6'4", massive dude. The Sun's article said he threw him across the car park.
Right.
I don't believe that.
He probably pushed him very hard and he moved very fast.
But they said that like he had this immense strength. And he apparently, and a lot of this police officers, like loads of people saw this. You know, in a cell door in like a police station, they have those little things where they open the little flap to give you like stuff through the door. They said that he forced one entire arm and his head out through that.
Right.
And they had to inject him twice with tranquilizers, and it took like 6 police officers to subdue him.
Wow.
So he had this strange superhuman strength.
They do say though, don't they, that everyone has got access to more strength than that they actually think they have. You just, it's like when, like, if, I don't know, like you hear stories where, I don't know, there'd be like a child trapped in a car accident and the dad or the mum just manages to lift the car up.
Yeah, that's adrenaline, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's what I'm saying. I think it's all related, really. I think if you know how to like tap into that,
but maybe it's like a PTSD. He's like triggered by whatever it is something that's triggering this break within him that's then but meaning that he's accessing that level of strength and power, but also just completely blind rage as well. Like, by the sounds
well, some of the things people were saying that he, like that in the video, that was Ed Warren, and he was saying that he transformed or whatever into a werewolf. He didn't actually turn into a werewolf. He would like snarl and put his hands like this, and he would make his teeth really big, and it was just a guy making himself look a bit more like a dog.
yeah. Just kind of playing up a bit.
Yeah, but I don't know what ended up happening to him. This video that we're watching was from a show from 1992, which was, I think, 4 or 5 years after the exorcism.
Right.
And they said up till that point he'd had no more fits of being a werewolf, but then there had been 2 stints of 15 years where he hadn't done anything. So maybe well, actually no, we would have heard about it because that would have crept into our time of being in Southend.
I feel like we probably would have come up. We
would have heard man was murdered by werewolf man.
Well, listeners, your hosts might all be on the fence about how true Bill Ramsey's story of being inflicted with lycanthropy was, but they most certainly believe that his name is Bill Ramsey. This one had my very well-adjusted bullshit sensors flashing for a while, but it's just crazy enough that it could be true. Just procedurally generate for a moment. Your skin turning ice cold before you black out, and waking up hours later in a police cell, having destroyed a fence, bitten your best friend, and hospitalizing not only a police officer, but you, yourself, Bill Ramsey. Well, I've imagined too many scary scenarios now, and run out of credit for this month. So I guess that's enough from me, Stephen, your favorite AI pimp and super brave guy through the spooky season. It's time for a game, but who brought one this week? Will it be Scary Bob, Big Balls, or Corpse Ben?
So, we're going to play. I'm going to wheel out on my little tiny tricycle, and I'm going to turn to you with my little weird disjointed jaw, and I'm going to say, guys, do you want to play a game with me?
Do you want to play a game?
I don't think I want to play any of those games. They all end badly.
Yeah. Don't play any of those games. To be fair, you guys don't generally want to play any of my games. Let's be fair.
Well, it's because we do things like this, like talk a load of shit before getting into the game.
So,
Tom's high-spirited for the game, Mark. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a horror movie. What I want you to do with that horror movie is give me one recasting if you can remember any of the cast. It doesn't matter if you can't. If you can just give me a person you'd like to be in the movie, I would appreciate it.
We have already previously stated that Tom watches a film and then remembers nothing about it.
Exactly. I'm not expecting...
And my brain is broken, so this is going to go well.
Yeah. So I want you to give me at least one recasting, and I also want you to repitch me the movie as a different genre, and I'll give you the genre. It's absolutely fine. So, as an example... one of my favourite horror films is a film called Fourth Kind. It's a mostly found footage mockumentary film where a psychologist gets woken up every night at the same time by an owl watching her. If I was going to repitch this film as a rom-com film, my decision would be to keep it as a mockumentary, and it's still about a psychologist, but she'd be slowly falling in love, night by night, by a man who's dressed in a massive owl costume who advertises for the local zoo, who's doing so across the road in the middle of the night, and she just slowly falls in love with him. It's about their love story.
So she's falling in love with the creepy owl that is watching her every night.
Yeah. That's how I've decided to reimagine Fourth Kind.
Okay.
So, like I say, no pressure.
So, hang on, where was the recasting element of that?
Okay. I want to put Natalie Portman in that one. I feel like her...
and Ryan Reynolds plays the owl.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with that. I like it. So... who would like to go first?
I can go first if you want. Fuck it, I'll go first.
All right.
Tom, have you seen the film It?
Yes.
Please, can you recast and rewrite the movie It for me as a teen gross-out comedy?
I don't know what a teen gross-out comedy is, so...
Eurotrip, American Pie, that kind of vibe.
Recast it. So do I do that first?
Yeah. So maybe
I mean, I don't know who's in the cast of it.
So
but
one of the Skarsgårds is It. Maybe you could recast It, the clown.
So let's make Pennywise... who's the dude? He's the guy from American Pie, Stifler.
Oh, nice. Shawn Michael Scott? No.
Sean Williams Scott.
Yeah, and he...
Something like that.
I'm trying to think. What's a cool thing to do? So the movie is a classic movie of that genre where It is trying to lose his virginity.
Okay.
And his friends are kind of having a hard time convincing him that hanging around with all the children is a little bit of a turn off for some women. And also, what also isn't doing him many favours is that he smells of shit because he lives in a drain. So they're kind of getting him a new apartment and sorting him out.
It's a glow-up movie now, is it?
Yeah, he eventually does get laid, but it isn't for him. And that's as far as I got because I couldn't think of reasons why it isn't for him. But then maybe I can open up the stage.
Oh yeah, we can brainstorm.
So why when he gets laid isn't it for him?
The twist is that he's actually asexual.
Yeah, there we go. Do you know what happens at the end of the movie? Instead of like a sexy like song where it's like I like big butts and it just goes I like big balloons and I cannot lie, and it just ends with him like holding a load of balloons.
Ben, have you seen the thing that you're supposed to be brainstorming about? By the way, I sent it on both chats.
I don't know who Wes Anderson is.
Ah, tits. Sorry. Ben, can you instead make it a fantasy film for me then, please?
I also don't really fancy. I don't know if I'm going to be good at this.
Okay. Can you make Jaws a Studio Ghibli movie for me, please, Ben?
Studio Ghibli movie. Okay. Yeah. My recasting is very unique. Hasn't happened 100 times in the last year. I'm going to make the shark be played by Jack Black.
Nice. That's a good choice.
So my idea is that Jack Black he's just a normal man. And one day he's walking down the street and he gets turned into a shark and pulled into a shark land. And it's all full of sharks and it's all magical and mystical.
So in Sharkland, are there sharks in water or is it they're floating and they're just sharks on the land? There's like sharks on the...
It's going to have to be underwater, isn't it?
Or are they like street sharks?
Oh, street sharks.
Like super muscular.
They've all got like gun holsters and ride motorbikes.
Street sharks is underwater as well, isn't it?
Oh, I thought, no. I mean, how do you ride a motorbike underwater? I feel like street sharks were on land. They had legs.
It just sinks and doesn't move.
Tom, you've seen The Sixth Sense, right?
Yeah. I see dead people.
That's the one.
No spoilers, I haven't seen it.
Oh, for God's sake. Are you serious, Ben?
I'm joking.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not joking. I haven't seen the film, but everyone knows the fucking spoiler. That's why I haven't watched it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Tom literally just said the spoiler.
I know.
So, Tom, can you make The Sixth Sense a romance movie for me, please? Sci-fi romance, if you want.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a premise for a movie that you can... So basically, his sixth sense is that he can smell what women want.
Oh, you're so good at this.
So maybe it's like a What Women Want with Mel Gibson meets Sixth Sense. So he can smell what women want.
It's like flowers.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's that. Sometimes they need a shit. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, you smell the fart.
And I don't know what he wants to do with that. I think it's a bit more of a deep romance where he's kind of got this talent. He's just trying to, he's going on a voyage of discovery about how he can use it in a way that helps him find love and isn't taking advantage of any women. But he's just unsure because it's a bit of a sketchy path, you know, being able to smell all the things that women want.
Yeah. It's hard, and I mean it's particularly difficult when when a woman wants something that you can't actually smell, like a hug, or you know, just like support.
It just smells of like their odor.
Yeah,
their body
I guess that's
odor.
close, but like just a supportive conversation. How does he smell a supportive conversation? Or financial stability? How does it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I do like that.
Well, ghoulies and ghosties, we hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have any thoughts or corrections, then please get in touch.
And you can submit opening questions by reaching out to us at our Instagram, Wonderfully Illinformed, which is all one word, or by popping a note in the comments
If you're listening on Spookify.
It's close to Spotify as I can.
I like Spookify. That's good.
And whatever you do, don't forget to subscribe. We wouldn't want you to disappear now, would we?
Hell no.
Spooky.
Rate or leave a review, but be warned, once you're in, there's no turning back.
Never.
Help us grow, spread the word, so there's more wonderfully ill-informed souls like yourself can stumble into the darkness of our show.
So spooky.
The entire time you were doing your bit, Tom, I was like, Tom's not going to try and do it spooky like Mark did. And then you kind of did. And I'm like, oh, how do I do it? The answer is normally. You can find links to everything we've talked about this week in the episode's show notes.
This is what ChatGPT said. The things we've spoken of this week, you'll find links in the show notes where we keep the evidence.
Where we hide the bodies.
Where the bodies.
The dream bodies.
Thank you for listening. If you're still here, we'll be watching. Until next time, if there's a next time.
If you make it to next time.
Goodbye.